I remember I was at this house party some 20 years ago as a young man, and we had been drinking all night at that point. It was the early morning hours. We were sitting at a fire outside, and this dude was telling us about how his dad used to beat him up when he was growing up as a kid, beat him with a belt. And you know what he said? He said, "Hey, but look at me now. I turned out just fine, so all those beatings served me well." And at the time, I thought that he must be right. I thought that a man needs tough upbringing to become a strong man. And as a young man, feeling very insecure, I was trying all sorts of things to feel more confident and tougher. And I was doing martial arts and everything, thinking that it's the physical aspect that's going to toughen me up and help me become a real strong man. What I didn't realize at the time was that all that such childhood physical abuse accomplishes is makes a man or a woman, doesn't matter really, makes them believe that the world is a very dangerous place. You cannot trust anyone. So the tougher you are, the more aggressive you are, the better your chances of survival, because that's exactly the kinds of notions that that the dad literally beats into the child. Okay, and as a hypnocoach and a healer, I've seen all sorts of abuse having done to people. All sorts of abuse, ranging from emotional needs neglect and all the way to sexual abuse. And it's crazy because a lot of times we label a lot of those bad things that happen to us, we label it as love. Because that's exactly the kind of love we were getting. For example, if your parents manipulate you into doing something by making you feel guilty, okay, then that's love for you. If they only pay attention to you, for example, when you're sick and when they pity you, "Oh, poor you, let me look after you." But when you're healthy and there's nothing wrong with you, they don't pay attention to you, then for you, love is pity, okay? So a lot of the things that we kind of believe to be true are actually very wrong underneath. And all those things formed when we were kids growing up. And many of us, especially we who grew up in the 80s, in the former Soviet era, and our parents, and I suppose in many other places in the world, times were tough. People needed to survive. So being very emotionally available to their children and catering to all of their needs wasn't even on the top of their priority list. They needed to survive. They literally were worried about how they're going to put the food on the table, maintain the roof over their heads. And when a kid came to them wanting something, oftentimes they just brushed it off, just, "Hey, get lost. I ain't got no time for you," that kind of an attitude. And they really didn't realize that what they do to the child by treating them that way is they just destroy their self-worth. The child starts believing that they're nothing. And in the later adult life, it manifests itself as anxiety, depression, inability to decide what they really want in life. And that's the best case scenario, no? Obviously, you know yourselves what the worst case scenario would be, suicidal thoughts, substance abuse, and all of that. Just to fill that inner void that formed when you were a child and living in these conditions. All of this to say that it's sometimes very hidden, it's very complex. Sometimes we just, don't realize how badly we've suffered, but it's true. And a lot of us need that help to untangle all that emotional web, all those subconscious beliefs that we took on about ourselves when we lived in these tough environments, you know. And you can start doing that by coming to my website, cookerstherapy.com, and sign up for a free consultation where I'm going to show you exactly how you can start, seeing into yourself, understanding where your biggest emotional hole, so to speak, is, and start tackling it. Okay? Thank you for watching, and chat soon again.